Hello and welcome to the Paper Soprano podcast. I am your host, and my name is Heidi. And today, you guys, it's let me just walk it through. Okay, so basically, I went to the mechanic. If you listened to yesterday's episode, went to the mechanic today, got everything checked out, stayed there a lot less long than I expected. Usually, when I'm at the mechanic, it's like many hours, but this was less than an hour total. And it was fine. I worked on my paper in the waiting room and then whatever. So, get out of there, and I'm like, okay, I'm on a roll here, so might as well go get a coffee and work on my paper some more. So, I do that and I'm killing it, working on my paper. We're almost finished. We're in the final stages of this paper and just need to kind of wrap things up and format it and make sure that things are looking good. And basically that's where the paper is at. So we're looking good on that front, and I get back home here and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm like taking a shower, I'm getting ready, because it's still relatively early in the day. It's like, not noon yet, and um, for some reason I was like, which I never do this, literally, and I'll explain why. But I get out of the shower and I'm like, I'm feeling pretty tired. It must be like the coffee or whatever, but I'm feeling tired and I don't necessarily have anything coming up for the rest of the day. So I've worked really hard this morning and I've done a lot of things. So I'm gonna take a little nap. I'm gonna lay down. And your girl lays down and falls asleep for like who knows how long. I don't even know. But I wake up to a text from my therapist saying, "Hey, just so you know, our appointment starts at 2:15," and it's like I wake up at like 3:45 or something, and I'm literally like, "Oh my god." So I send her all these texts and I'm literally like, "I'm so sorry. I don't know. This is why I never take naps. I'm literally the worst. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I can't believe I did that." And you know, it is what it is. I just messed up, and this is why I cannot take naps. I hate knowing that, not even knowing, because obviously I didn't know when I laid down that I was like gonna miss something, or you know nobody knows they're gonna miss something. That's why you miss it, like. And it was just so frustrating because I was like, the one time that I actually give myself the moment in the day where I can just be like, okay, yeah, go ahead, you're gonna lay down and like relax and take a little nap and whatever, you've been doing stuff all day, go ahead, take a nap. It's like, of course, then is the time in which it's like all comes crashing down and I'm like, oh my god, no, I missed something, like now. And it's not a big deal. It is what it is, and we're gonna figure out how to reschedule it. It's not that big of a deal, like. But oh my god, when I tell you that I hate missing things and I hate missing appointments or like missing obligations or being late to things, oh my god, do I mean it. I just can't stand it. Like, I'm the kind of person who is embarrassingly early to things because that's just how I have to be. And if I'm late to something, it's because I like completely forgot about it. And that happens very seldom, but it does happen to me. And it happened to me today. And it was very frustrating, but here we are. So, yeah. So the rest of the day, I took a good amount of time to just sit there and be like upset with myself and be like, what the heck? Like, I can't believe I did that. And then we did some practicing. We tried to move on from that, and I actually just saw a text from my therapist right now. Oh my gosh, it's happening in real time, and she said, oh my God, I'm literally gonna cry. She's so understanding. She said, it happens, I know, let's reschedule. Ugh. Sometimes I feel like it's like, I just, as a person, I have so much anxiety attached to like getting in trouble, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't want people to be upset with me. I don't want people to think badly of me. That's like a thing that I have been trying to work on for like my whole life. And it's a struggle. I don't know if anybody out there listening feels the same way, but it is really something that should be addressed and worked on if you feel that way. And it's like, because these things do happen. Like, people forget sometimes, or like sometimes you just completely don't remember what day it is. I felt like it was a Saturday today because tomorrow I have church, because I have to record for them. We're recording their Christmas mass tomorrow. So, and I worked from home today, technically worked out of the office today because I had to take my car in. So it did kind of feel like a Saturday in a way, and maybe that's why my brain was like, yeah, you don't have anything going on in the afternoon. Oh, I don't know, you guys. So that was that, but now we're here and we have lived through it. And you know, it is what it is. So we're gonna move on from that, and we're gonna talk about something else. And yeah, so the past couple of days I have been writing little Christmas cards, and I'm very excited about them. I personally really like stationery, and I have this when you can make like those wax seals? Like, I have this little wax press and like obviously a little candle that you melt and like you seal the wax. And not saying that I'm like making these cards just so I can use the wax seal, but like, I've got some cute little stationaries, and I'm like, well, it's that time of year. I might as well send them out. So we've been doing that. We've been having lots of fun with that. What else have I been doing in my life? These past couple days have been weird. I've kind of just been working on my paper and like doing other arbitrary things. Oh my God, it's frustrating. But I am traveling back to Buffalo. I'm not taking a plane or a train. I'm trying to be very safe about my method of transportation back to Buffalo. So I am driving, making the drive out to Buffalo on Sunday. So that should be fun. And honestly, I've made the drive before, and it's not great, obviously, because if you don't know how long it is, it's about 7.5 hours. Obviously, it's not amazing, not great, but not the worst. Especially when you're like going through some stuff and you just kind of are forced to sit there and like think about stuff and just, you know, sit in the car and think about stuff. And like, you can listen to music, or you can listen to podcasts, or you can listen to nothing. And, it's kind of like you're taking yourself on a little adventure, a little date. I am, however, the last time I went up to Buffalo, oh my lord. It was literally the GPS. You know how GPS like takes you the most efficient way, or like the quickest way, really? GPS did me dirty last time I drove to Buffalo, and it took me up these like treacherous back roads that I have never been on in my life. And I was on like the throughway, regular old highway for the majority of the trip. And then all of a sudden, once it got dark at like 4:30, I was directed onto these back roads that are literally like no lines on the roads, no street lights, no light, no nothing, just like houses, but also just like super long, very hilly, lots of hills. And of course, when I was driving, it started raining, and there were like, you know, there's a lot of animals out in everywhere mainly, but like in like the upper parts of New York State. And by the time I was in this part of my trip, I was like well into nature. And like I was not on a highway, and even so, like there's lots of animals that cross the highway, but so basically I was going less than the speed limit, but also the GPS didn't show a speed limit. There were no signs, no street signs, no nothing, girl. Like no speed limit signs, no, no nothing. It was really strange, and I forget the name of the road exactly, but it was like I would be driving and I'm like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm on this road. Maybe it's taking me to like another highway or something or whatever." And then it would be like, "Turn right onto blah 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 street and continue straight for 22 miles." And I'm like, "What? Like, are you kidding me? 22 miles I have to continue in this treachery?" Oh my God. And I nothing makes me more upset than like driving in unfavorable conditions and also having some like big giant pickup truck driving behind me, like riding my bumper like you would not believe. And I'm like, dude, I've got my brights on. I'm going 45 miles an hour blind into the darkness, and you're really gonna ride my bumper about this whole thing. It's raining, it's pouring rain. I've got my windshield wipers on the highest setting. A deer or a raccoon or a squirrel or something could run out at any god blessed time. And you're about to ride my bumper about it? Like, oh my god, it's just like the rudest thing. So, and like, I will literally pull over and be like, go ahead. Like, you wanna go 60 miles an hour down a back road in like pitch black while it's raining? Be my guest. And then when somebody else comes like head on, you've got to turn your brights off and you can't really see because you're blinded because that's the only light you see. Like, oh my God, it's just people be crazy driving. Not even like New York drivers, like because people think that New Yorkers drive crazy, which honestly they do, but they just drive fast and like I don't know because when you go upstate or to Western New York or even to Central New York, I'm sure it's the same thing. But like you get those certain types of people who are just like they're just on a mission to make you feel inferior. And I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get there in one piece. And honey, this is a new car. So I am not going to be pushing my luck for you and your ego just because you want to be going fast for some reason. Like I just don't care about that. So anyway, um but yeah, so that was my day today. And yeah, I have to record for church tomorrow. There's a surprising amount of music. I'm actually quite looking forward to it because um since the masses have been cut short, like we have had obviously a significant number or a significant amount less of music that I sing. I basically sing like two verses of a hymn at the beginning of the mass. I sing an offering, which is like some kind of solo piece. Can be any kind of genre, really, as long as it's obviously church appropriate. And then I sing two hymns at the end. And that's about it. Normally I would sing some kind of um you know the things like when you sing all a cappella and not the Agnus Dei, but anybody, all my other church singer friends, you know what I'm talking about. I just can't think of the name. Like when, oh, I wish I could remember it. I feel like such an idiot. But all those like unaccompanied kind of chants, we would do all of that stuff at the church that I sing at. And also, I do miss the congregation being able to sing the hymns with me, even though the congregation at the church that I sing at is relatively small. That's a really unique thing that I do miss, and I'm sure they miss it too in some ways. But what a time that's going to be when we all can just freely sing the amount of verses that we all want to sing at all the services that we are singing at. That will be quite the time. And cuz I don't know exactly how it works, but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like a running joke, maybe, I think, that specifically Lutherans are known for singing like all the verses. I remember hearing that I've worked at two Lutheran churches now, but I think it's like you know how it's all like, oh, the Catholics are this, and like, oh, the Protestants are this. Like, I think the joke about Lutherans is that they like always sing every verse. Like, which is honestly like good for you. I'm here for it because why not? What else are you gonna do? You know? But anyway, so that's kind of been what's been going on today with me. And not gonna lie, a little bit anxious about just the upcoming weeks and, things that are not coming up. If you're listening to this, like, let me know if you're the kind of person who is like hates not having something to do, or like, you know what I mean? Not being like, "Oh my god, I love being like stressed and frazzled and busy," but like having at least somewhere to go and something to do is something that I'm like, "Oh, I must not be the only one who experiences this." Like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the times, like, January is my least favorite month, especially in the past couple of years when I've been in school. We've had a lot of time off, and we have a lot of time off in between semesters, and now it's particularly more because I believe Stony Brook is not giving us a spring break this year. Which is kind of rude, but also like, what who cares? Cuz like what else are you going to do? So, yeah, whatever. But I do have things to accomplish, like I have to learn a role, which is going to be like, okay, girl, we got to get on that. And I do have a couple arias to learn because I'm trying to, expand my repertoire. So that'll be fun. And I will probably be going into the office at work. So I think, everything's going to be fine. But yeah, you guys, it's a little scary all the time to have, not all the time. It's a little scary during this time to think about, the new year and what it's going to be like and expectations, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot. So, if I could give you any takeaway from this podcast, which has been very aloof and strange, like just weirdly strung together, it would be this message. Um, Try not to have any expectations for the new year. Like, it is so common for people to be like, oh my god, in the new year, I'm gonna like change everything and blah 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 blah. Like, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this. And it's like you put all of this pressure on yourself to like change immediately, and it's just another day. Like, it's not like a start point from anywhere. It's not like 2020 ended and now we get, something magical is going to happen on January 1st of 2021. That's just not how it is. It's just going to feel like another day. And like, ugh, don't start any crazy diets. Don't like put yourself in a position where you're going to like feel uncomfortable or whatever. Like, just allow yourself time and know that like things are gonna happen for you when they happen. And like, Oh my god, these New Year's resolutions, I already see people like posting about them being like, "Oh my god, like join my fitness team or whatever. We're gonna like get fit for 2021, like when we're out of quarantine. We're gonna like look amazing and, blah blah blah." I'm like, "No, girl. That's just not how it works. Like it doesn't just like happen like that. You know what I mean?" And I'm not saying those things don't work. Like if they work for you and you succeed on them, like good for you. I'm not going to tell you like, "Oh my god, it doesn't work," because it clearly did for you. Like good job, and I support you fully. But I know a lot of people who just say these things and they put up all these high expectations for themselves and then they don't follow through for really no fault of their own. Like it's just destined to fail. You know what I mean? It's not designed to be a long-term solution. You're not trying to change your habits or anything. You're trying to like shock your system into doing something short term and then expecting it to last. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Look up on the internet somewhere why diets don't work and why like juice cleanses don't work and why all those things that people try and sell you, all those pills and supplements and crap, doesn't work. Because I'm clearly not doing a good job explaining why. But yeah, so basically just be accepting with the fact that if you really do want to change something, it is going to take a long time and it is going to take, you know, habit changing efforts that aren't just like a complete shock to your system that's going to last very short amounts of time, because it is just that, just a shock to your system. It's not like you're really changing who you are as a person, you know? So, yeah, that's what I'm going to try to do at least. And I'm not even necessarily going to try and change anything about myself. I'm just going to try and really heal from a lot of the trauma that I have experienced in this past year, which honestly has been a lot. And I don't know if I'll ever talk about it really on this podcast, maybe like months and months from now or something. But it really has been, you know, pretty traumatizing this year. And there's been a lot of things that have been traumatizing for everyone. So I know I'm not alone. I think that I can only explain my own experiences, but I also feel comforted in the fact that I know a lot of people have been extremely traumatized by this year. And, maybe instead of a water fast in 2021, maybe you can just try and like heal yourself a little bit and be kind to yourself. And when these things start getting lifted and when the world starts getting a little bit um, easier to live in, then maybe you can start like trying to chip away at things and change things. But for right now, it's like we're in survival mode as humans in this time. So it's like, God, do not, don't beat yourself up about things. Oh man. So, anyway, I hope you guys all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And whenever you're listening to this, it has been wonderful to speak to you. Sorry, this podcast was so strange and disconnected, but sometimes it just be like that, you know? So, thank you so much for listening. If you like this podcast, please do like it, like the video if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed already. And, share it. Tell somebody about it. Be like, yo, there's this podcast that's out there. And there it is. And you can listen to it if you want to. And maybe that person will be like, thanks so much. I've been literally scouring the internet for a podcast. And you can be like, you're welcome. I just changed your life. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm literally losing my mind. Okay, well, time to go write more of my paper. Thanks for listening, you guys. Love you, mean it. Bye.